So that must mean that I am hosting today, and it does. Welcome, everyone, to the 4th and 1 podcast. It is I, your host, once again, Captain Boring, sitting beside the two-man myths and legends themselves. We have not CFP insider Roberto coming up there from Timbuktu in the mountains. And then in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, we have Admiral. You like that? He's munching on what you eating?
The snack that smiles back.
Goldfish. Excellent. So, Army Navy was last weekend. First and foremost, real quick before we jump in, follow us on Instagram at 4th and 1 Podcast. Like, subscribe, and share on YouTube. Share with your family and friends. We're pretty funny. I think so, at least, which probably means that we're only marginally people's cup of tea. Anyway, Army Navy was last week. Army denied Navy's tush push at the goal line to win the game. The over did end up hitting in that game. So for those of you that had the over, it was hit on a safety at the end of the game that Army took to prevent Navy from getting the ball back. So that is cool. Transfer portal is ablaze. Coaching carousel is carouseling. And bowl games are right around the corner. Someone pull up all the bowl games. One of you two pull up all the bowl games.
It's almost like that's my job or something.
It's almost like that's his job. So we're going to do some transfer portal. We're going to ride the carousel a little bit. We're going to talk bowl games. We're going to rank bowl game names. We did that last year, I believe,
we did.
right?
We did, yeah.
And everyone seemed to like that. All 7 of you seemed to like that. So, first and foremost, let's start off with no big news because there really isn't. Actually, no, let's start off with the biggest news, which is Kyle McCord today is transferring from Ohio State to Nebraska. Gentlemen, I think it was unfair. Kyle McCord, the hate he got after going 12-1 and not beating Michigan. All he did is throw one basically bad pass that game. So thoughts on this?
I just don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know why he left in the first place.
So he left because Ryan Day would not commit to him to being the starter for the bowl game and wouldn't commit to Kyle McCord being the starter for like next season.
It's a little
But I don't understand why. You know, he went 12-1. He did everything he was supposed to, but because they don't know how to manage the game on a coaching level, and because they don't have a good defensive coordinator or an offensive coordinator, you're going to tell a quarterback who did everything possible other than throwing an interception under pressure, like, that he's not going to start? Obviously the second string quarterback wasn't better, because if he was, he'd be playing.
Right.
And if, he goes to Nebraska, going to be an instant starter there. Now Nebraska has something they haven't had in 2 or 3 years is a decent arm.
And we know that he got paid $1.5 million, $2 million in order to play there.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought that was a great pick. I thought that was a great pickup. I'm wondering, right? You'd think, when did he hop in the portal? On the 4th.
He hopped in on the 4th, yeah.
You think he was talking about that? You think he was talking to Matt Rule before, or you think that was he hopped in on the 4th, or the week of, and immediately Matt Rule's on the phone being like, "Well, good news. They listened. I have $1.5 $2 million for you. Do you want to come here? We're building something. I'm always a second-year coach, so we know we're going to do something next year. They don't love you, but you like the color red, so you might as well come here. You like corn in the middle of nowhere. You might as well come here." Do you think this happened immediately, or do you think this was in the works? That's my question.
There's no way this was in the works. I just can't see how. Again, you're 12-0, and if Kyle McCord, That pass gets dropped by Rod Moore. They go on, they score a touchdown, whatever. You're 13-0. You obviously go in and you smack around Iowa, and it's probably by the same score, 30-0, whatever. So now you're looking at college playoff berth. Again, how fast this has gone downhill from Ohio State. Ohio State had, I saw a picture, again, this was like a week ago. They had 16 players in the portal, I think.
Mm-hmm.
How quickly
Ohio
players
State?
are just jumping ship there screams a little bit culture. Because again, you're 12-1. Next year's team defensively, you hung on to your defensive coordinator. Duke ended up taking Manny Diaz and not Jim Knowles. So Jim Knowles is going to be around. Your defense is going to be better, or at least as good, you would think. Your offense is always going to be able to put up points, no matter who's at quarterback, who's at receiver. Ryan Day's a good play caller. And you got a 12-team playoff. This kind of screams more culture than anything. And Robert, I go back to you. The fact that Ryan Day loses one game to Michigan, well, I know this is 3 in a row, but loses this only game this season and is like, nah, we're going to look around and see who else might give us a better shot to win.
So, two things, real quick. Sorry, producer things. One, 15 was the number since November. And November,
Okay.
according
All right.
to 24/7. So it's 15 is the answer to the number of people. And two, it's not like he looked that great. Response. It's not like he looked that great against Michigan or really all year. Robert, answer Makai's question.
You know, I kind of you threw
You don't
me off
remember.
track.
Yeah, you don't remember my question.
Just hit me with that. Just hit me with a brief synopsis of that question again.
It was a long-winded question, but it goes. Kyle McCord. This is got to be a culture thing that all these players are jumping ship after a 12-1 season, and you're looking at and you're guaranteed an entry if you even at 10-2 next year to the college football playoff.
Right. I do believe there is a definite lack of culture because Ohio State, I think right now is stuck in that they're always going to get the 5-star, whether it's quarterback, wide receiver, running back, whatever. And I think like this is a prime example where, you're saying, well, we can't commit to this kid who has played great. It's not like Michigan was the only game he looked bad. And right now, Michigan is number 1. So it's like, okay, that makes sense. It's not like Michigan wasn't a ranked team. They were 4-8 and came in and just shocked you. Like, there might not be a culture there right now, and it shows by the number of players that are leaving, and the players that are coming in really aren't that impressive. Like, it's not like they're going to bring in the 5-stars, but those 5-stars more likely are going to be leaving probably next year, just like half of these kids are. Like, their defense, they should be somewhat good, but they're losing a lot to the draft, and they're losing a ton to the portal. Like, Jim Knowles is going to have his work cut out for him next year.
I also think it should be noted that all Ryan Day has to do to beat Michigan is just wait out Jim Harbaugh. Because the more I'm hearing it, Jim's not sticking around. Michigan's presented a contract, and I think we covered this last week. Maybe, Robert?
No, not
Okay,
much.
so
I don't think
Michigan
we did because it was like middle of the week when it came out.
Okay, so Michigan presented Harbaugh with a contract. It would be a 5-year extension because he still has years left at about $11 million a year. So you're looking at about a $55 million extension. It would make him the highest paid coach in college football currently. He hasn't committed to that. Along with this, Michigan wants him to sign this extension and then to sign a letter of commitment saying that he won't go for NFL jobs.
This year.
He hasn't. This year, right. He hasn't signed it. So that makes me think that he's probably going to see what the NFL has to offer. Listen, Staley's going to get fired. He's going to he speaks very highly of Justin Herbert. He loves Justin Fields. Chicago's right down the street. Who knows? Minnesota might come open. Who knows? Green Bay might come open. Like, there are going to be so many good jobs. Carolina's going to come open or is open. There's so many solid NFL jobs that he could probably jump in tomorrow and win next year at. So if I'm Ryan Day, I'm just waiting out Jim Harbaugh. As soon as he leaves, I mean, Jim's only had a year of three, a run of success dating back to 3 years. Before that, now, however, if kids are going to keep jumping ship, this is what you get. Anyway, let's continue on. All right. So in other news, Dylan Gabriel, he's going to be in his 6th year next year, maybe even 7th. He goes from Oklahoma, where he transferred from UCF, to Oregon. So Oregon goes from a veteran-laid Bo Nix, who played 3 years at Auburn and then 2 years at Oregon and was like 97 years old by the time he graduated, to Dylan Gabriel, who's just about the same. Now, Dylan Gabriel isn't as big or doesn't have the arm talent, but he can get stuff done in a very prolific offense. Thoughts about Dylan Gabriel to Oregon?
I think, to be honest with you, he should have went to USC, because I think he doesn't fit Oregon's scheme as much as what, like, Dante Moore. Dante Moore fits Oregon's scheme a lot more than what Gabriel's does. And Gabriel, I think, would benefit a lot more, especially for the NFL, if he would have went to USC and got the exposure there, but then also working with Lincoln. I mean, it's not a bad, okay, so it's not a bad move, but it's not really a great move. I mean, it's okay.
He's a redshirt senior, by the way. This is his 5th. This will be his 6th year.
Riley Leonard, not Leonard Riley, is going from Duke to Notre Dame. Sam Hartman will not play in the bowl game. Sam Hartman will prepare for the NFL draft. Notre Dame, I think, is kind of going to be... I liked Riley Leonard. They had the shot to beat kind of Notre Dame early. He just gives them stability at the quarterback position. Still, the best way to go long-term with these programs is to develop guys. So I don't know how long you can kind of keep using one-year rentals. But Riley Leonard, he's smart. Obviously, he was at Duke, going to Notre Dame. So he's got that going for him. The thing that Notre Dame doesn't have, that I think that Duke even had more so than Notre Dame, is weapons on the outside. They even lost a receiver, Merriweather. I saw he's gone to
Washington.
Somewhere. He's going to Washington. Who Washington now needs a new quarterback. So whether they stay in-house or if they go get a portal guy, who knows?
Will Rogers.
Oh, Will Rogers is going there. Great. So Tobias Merriweather is going to catch passes. So Riley Leonard, I think that this is the most slam dunk up until this point. Riley Leonard is going from a program that is running game and defense to a program that is running game and defense. It fits like puzzle pieces together.
He's also like a big quarterback too. Like
He's-
Hartman was the pocket passer that you had to worry about because he was kind of like more compact.
6'4",
Where-
215.
Riley Leonard, he's a big dude. Like,
Yep.
he's like a Ben Roethlisberger kind of guy, like tree trunk,
move.
And he like gets that extra 3 to 4 when he just falls forward.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was a slam dunk too, Micaiah, for the record.
Okay, great. Wonderful. I mean,
That
there was a
just
pause
weird.
in there.
Robert, you just kind of stopped at the end
He
there.
did. He did.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
Much like he falls over, you just kind of fell over into the end.
yeah, I fell over. I was waiting for you to just kind of like scoop in and pick me up,
That's fair. That's on me. I've been looking at some of these guys and where they're going, and just trying to. I've had a week just trying to keep my head on straight with regarding all the coaching carousels. I've seen some. I know we're going to get there, but we've seen some interesting moves. I think 3,000 is that the number that I saw? Jumped in at the beginning of the portal, or was it 1,000?
No, it's. I think it's over 4 now. 4,000 players are in the portal now. Yeah,
and I know you guys touched on this a little bit last week. I just think that number shocks me. Also, thank you for calling me right last week on what the NCAA is turning into. You all are welcome. If you somehow made a bet on that, you're welcome for the millions that I made you. I called this. Suck it, Sean. But yeah. Do you ever notice, like, I'm looking at 24/7's transfer.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these guys that they're moving, by the way, Georgia got another, not Georgia, he transferred from Georgia to Kentucky. It's another long-haired white guy, blonde, is going to be Kentucky's new quarterback, most likely. Brock Vandagriff is his name. But like some of these guys transfer to like weird schools, and I always just find it funny. So I don't know why.
I don't really have a problem if Tyler Van Dyke went from Miami to Wisconsin. That fits because Van Dyke's he sucks. Van Dyke's best year, but Van Dyke's best years at Miami were when they were air raid, right under SMU's head coach, Rhett Lashley, right? Yeah. And so Rhett Lashley uses the exact same passing scheme as Phil Longo. So I think that that's a slam dunk. I don't have a problem if these kids go from random schools to like random small schools because they just want a chance to start, and that's where they're going to start.
Like 3-star quarterback at UCF went to Youngstown State.
But AJ Swan jumping in the portal from Vanderbilt, where exactly do you think you're going to go, AJ Swan, that you're going to get a
Trevor
chance?
Etienne out of Florida.
Oh,
is another one of my favorites. He's in the portal.
He jumped in.
So that's Travis's brother who plays in Jacksonville. Listen, he had a phenomenal season at Florida. Why he's leaving Florida, I don't know.
You know where he could go?
Clemson?
He could go to Oregon.
He'd go to Clemson.
You know where they would use him at like for a 3-down back?
He would fit that scheme so good.
Colorado.
No, don't go to. You want your college career to die? You go to Colorado.
No, okay, so first of all, if I'm Coach Prime for Colorado, I don't know how we got back on Colorado. Makai, I don't know what the F you're doing either. That's interesting. But
it's a twist tie where the end's breaking off.
Okay.
And I'm just waiting for you guys to, talk about Colorado.
All Colorado needs is an offensive line.
Okay, well, speaking of, that's where I was going.
It looks like they're getting
They
something.
jumped, so they got they flipped a 5-star from an SEC region team, and now they've just gotten 2 of the highest ranked transfers in the transfer portal along the offensive line. Along with Colorado, this kind of goes to coaching carousel, so let's talk about this. North Dakota State's head coach. North Dakota State right now is the Alabama of the FCS. Even when they're not good, I mean, Robert, what'd you say? They faced number 3 South Dakota yesterday?
Yeah.
The fighting Pat McAfee's.
Yeah, South Dakota.
They faced South Dakota. They were not even... North Dakota State was like the lower seed. South Dakota was the 3 seed, and they railed them 40-something to 14. Okay, so it was not close. North Dakota State is in the semifinals of the FCS. Their head coach is leaving for a linebacker position at USC.
Robert, please tell me you have more context here, because Makai and I were going back on back and forth in the chat, because I'm like,
that's
it.
That's
it.
That's there is. There's nothing. He's just leaving.
He has a 46-10 record. All time at NDSC.
He has like a 46-10, and he has like 3 national championships.
This doesn't make.
I don't know if he's just looking to get into the
There's a
Division
job open at
One, and
Troy.
but
I know it's
don't- I
Troy,
don't
but
know.
like
it doesn't make sense. I don't know what, unless he's being forced out, unless there's something underlying that's just not out yet until he leaves, and then something comes out like he's touching people or something. I don't know.
yeah, but he wouldn't have another job, right? Word would get around if that
I
was
don't
the
know.
case.
Maybe
He
How long
wouldn't
did it
have
take?
a.
It took Penn State a long time to report that.
Yes. But my point is still valid of like you're going from a top tier FCS coach and you're moving to a sub, like, I don't know, is that mid-level, is inside linebacker mid-level, or is it low-level coaching position?
Unless if he's also going to be like a co-defensive coordinator
Or an associate head coach or something like
It's
that?
a staff position. And I really don't get it. They also got a running back from,
I mean, they need the defensive help,
Oh, wait,
to
no.
be fair.
Raleek Brown left SC for Arizona State, which is weird. You would go there. Listen, they need all the defensive help that they can get over there at SC. Did they hire the defensive coordinator? Who'd they hire?
Holy crap. Tyler Van
What?
Dyke looks like a 55-year-old
SC.
dude.
Did they hire a defensive coordinator?
Not that I
I
saw.
didn't see anything. So
Hold on,
he's
let's
going
look.
to be assistant head coach for defense linebackers coach.
There it is. As an assistant coach for yeah.
So,
let's see.
but
Hold on.
again, you're hiring. You're taking one of the best FCS head coaches is taking a gig as a linebackers coach, and they don't even have a defensive coordinator yet.
Well, what kind of position is an assistant head coach for defense? Isn't that just-
Deontay Lynn, the defensive coordinator from UCLA, is coming in.
Oh,
for
Lynn's going to
USC.
come in. Okay, all right.
Isn't an assistant head coach for defense just assistant of the defensive coordinator?
Yeah, pretty much.
basically.
Like,
I mean, you have the AHC title, but like, I wouldn't imagine that's
Unless if it's like
brilliant.
it's assistant head coach for defense.
yeah, / linebackers coach. Unless they are grooming, unless this is who they want to take over after Link.
Link's been there like 5 minutes, and they're
But let's be honest though, USC for the past 2 seasons is supposed to be this powerhouse, like championship caliber team, and has fallen flat twice. Like they kind of pulled an Ohio State for the past 2 years. Not as bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, a
Worse,
worse version
but-
of Ohio. Yeah. So we're gonna keep you updated on that. Again, it's a head scratching decision to me, only because of the low staff position rank that he'll be. You come in and you take a head coach from SCS and you make him a defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, or a linebackers coach that's an associate head coach. Fine, that's all fine and dandy, and I get that. I do not understand the move to be a position coach. Meanwhile, Colorado, there are 2 offensive linemen they got in the portal. One was from Houston and one was from UTEP. So will their offensive line improve? I don't know. I don't even know if they fired their offensive line coach, probably because everybody left. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to move on because we talked about the quarterback. So let's talk about the coaches and who the quarterbacks are going to go be playing for. Let's start with Duke. Manny Diaz, who was the head coach at the University of Miami, got fired there. He took over for Mark Richt, got fired there. They didn't like his turnover chain, so he went up to Penn State, to where he created some great defenses. Yeah, he was 21-15 at Miami. And I feel like Duke just kind of wanted the defensive mindset to continue, which is kind of a dangerous thing to do, especially when you're at a school like Duke. So thoughts on Manny Diaz going from Penn State DC to Duke head coach?
There was no way he was going to be staying at Penn State, especially with how dominant their defense looked and the blitz packages that he created this year. I thought that was a great pickup for Duke. I mean, besides the fact that he's a defensive head coach, or my defensive-minded head coach, and we know they don't do well in head coaching positions for some odd reason. But as far as hires go, it's the best one to make. Someone who knows the South, knows the ACC, and can kind of hopefully keep the train rolling down there at the Southern Ivy League. But other than that, like, I don't know. I don't know. What does CBS rank it as? Probably like an A-.
B-.
B-.
Yeah, I think that's fair. He has a 21-15 record at Miami, which, I mean, has much higher standards, but they let them, what is that, 3 seasons? He was their head coach for 3 seasons?
Yeah.
Maybe Duke is planning on going back to being basement dwellers again, and they're totally fine if Manny Diaz takes them there. That's an expensive way to go back to the basement, though.
I get that he wanted to be like a head coach again and didn't want to just, keep being a defensive coordinator. But I mean, he's a really good defensive coordinator. Like the defense that he was able to put out there was very good. I don't know why he just didn't try to go to the NFL. Because his defense is that's the way he schemes. It's very NFL like. So, I mean,
he must like the coaching world, the college world better then.
I mean, it's like just like a safe haven, I guess. I mean, Duke, they just lost their quarterback. They lost their best edge rusher. He's in the portal. I mean, he's essentially going to be like rebuilding the defense again, which I'm sure the defense is going to be great, but the offense has just never really been there since.
Do we know
Danny Jones.
The offense coordinator left with Elko? Right? No, he did not. No. Yes, he did. Hold on. Let me go to A&M. I have it up here. Texas, A&M. In Duke head coach, Sheen Spencer, defensive line, offensive line, cornerbacks. Yes, they brought in Colin Klein. No, that's Texas A&M from Kansas State. So I don't think he lost his offensive coordinator. But let me see. I went to the wrong one. Offensive line, cornerbacks. He did not lose his offensive coordinator.
Well, I mean, that's good. So the system will still be the same. The scheme will be the same, but now you're replacing Riley Leonard.
Okay.
So yeah.
So what? He's not that special.
He's
a white guy with blue eyes. We're like a dime a dozen. You just throw a rock and you hit a white guy with blue eyes.
All right.
There's 2 of them on this podcast right now.
So a white guy with blue eyes is who's going to be taking over the Duke head or the Duke quarterback job. Says Admiral, you like that. Speaking of taking over jobs, Bob
How much are you going to laugh? I'm sorry, before we go, how much are you going to laugh if a white guy with blue eyes takes over the Duke job?
Oh, no, for sure. We'll laugh. I'll laugh.
That'll be... I will love because that's the most Duke thing to do.
Yeah. Don't bring in an athlete. Bring in a white guy with blue eyes.
Does Drake May have blue eyes because the state of North Carolina is really good at that?
He might.
He might. I don't know.
Drake May. Okay, talk about
Drake May going to the NFL, by the way. Bob Chesney was the coach at Holy Cross FCS program. He is making the jump to FBS to take over Kirk Cignetti's vacancy at JMU. He led Holy Cross to 4 straight Patriot League titles and playoff appearances from 2018 to 2022, the last of which included an undefeated regular season. JMU only lost 1 game this year, going bowling, so they're going to finish off strong. They will be bowl eligible next year, including for the college football playoff. So if you're highly ranked, you're probably going to be one of those the top 6 ranked conference champions. You are in there in JMU in the Fun Belt. So, CBS Sports is giving this an A+. What do we think about Bob Chesney going from FCS to JMU, who has everything going for them currently?
Both Drake May and Riley Leonard both have blue eyes.
Okay,
That's
great.
hilarious.
Wonderful. That's the news we needed to know. Wait.
A white man? No!
There we go.
Makai, someone has to make the podcast fun. You're clearly the better host, but someone has to make it ridiculous and
A
stupid.
white man? No! Well, what does security do about it?
Nothing.
Typical!
By the way, Bob Chesney is
A white man?
so
He's a young dude, too.
he
went
is.
to Dickinson.
Yep.
He's a PA boy. We have to give a shout out to Robert. He's from up in the middle of, as Ike said, bumfuck nowhere
hey
in
now.
Shamokin. I drove through Shamokin to get to Clinton County.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you locked your doors.
I didn't. I would. I almost. That's not true. I would have had I stopped and parked. I had tried. I went last year. Story about Shamokin Dam before we move on. I tried to get Taco Bell at the on 15 and in Shamokin Dam, and their system was down, and so I couldn't get Taco Bell.
Yeah,
And I was
that's
very sad.
typical.
So and a white teenage boy came out and told me, and then I turned around and went home. So
A white man?
went to from up there. I don't even know what that area is called of PA, but from up there, from the Susquehanna area, went to Dickinson, then bounced around in the region. I think he was in like Amherst and a school down in Virginia before finally landing the job at Holy Cross, and then getting hired by JMU. Robert, you're going to have more of an insight on it from a 30,000 foot. You're going to have more of a 10,000 foot view. From a 30,000 foot view, I think this is a great hire. It's the type of person that they needed to hire. Someone from a good league as far as FCS goes, but can recruit to a small, in the middle of nowhere school. I don't know exactly where Holy Cross is, but, Lehigh is in Allentown, and there's nothing around Allentown. It's actually technically not Allentown, but Lehigh's in the Patriot League. There's nothing around there. So that's what you have to do to JMU. You have to say, hey, listen, we have the most fans that ever show up at college game day. We have this history. I have the background. You aren't going to get, aren't going to start for Michigan, for Maryland, for Minnesota, for insert here, but you'll start here and you'll make an immediate impact. Come work with me. Oh, by the way, I have no money to give you as well. I think it's the right move for them. I think it's the exact type of person they need to hire. He has a proven track record. I give this an A. I don't think it needs to be an A+, but I don't think it needs to be an A-.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they really could have hired anyone better, other than if Nick Saban was available or Kirby Smart. But it's they made the right choice. Someone who is being proven successful, who is going to be able to step in and just roll with what's already there and try and make it better. I don't think he's going to have that hard of a time to get people to come to James Madison, because, I mean, if he does exactly what Jim Harbaugh does, Jim Harbaugh literally lives off of 3 stars, 2 3s and 4s, and just plays ball. You don't need 5 stars to be national champions or competitive, as Michigan's proving. But, they just have to be competitive, and especially in the Fun Belt, it's not going to be as hard to do. Now, the whole NIL, that's going to be, I think, a little bit of a challenge, just because it might be a year or two until they kind of figure out, hey, this is how much we need to be kind of putting into this program. But I don't think they could have done really any better.
Worcester, Massachusetts is where Holy Cross is. It's the second largest city in Massachusetts, and means he's basically recruiting for the same area.
If you can turn a lacrosse school into a football powerhouse, albeit in the Patriot League, you are doing something right. Which retention are you guys more surprised about? Neil Brown at West Virginia following an 8-4 seasons after a bunch of 5-7 seasons, or three options. So we have Neil Brown, West Virginia, Dave Aranda at Baylor. He had a 11-2 first season, then he went 3-9. And he was bad last season too. I think it was back-to-back 3-9 seasons. Or Sam Pittman, who is not very good. Sam Pittman, by the way, for those of you that don't know, has this weird clause worked into his contract for buyout. If he is over 500, it's like a $15 million buyout. If he is under 500, it drops to like $5 million. Pittman is 23-24 in 4 seasons, so his buyout's low. So between Arkansas, Sam Pittman, Dave Aranda at Baylor, and Neil Brown, West Virginia, who are we most surprised about getting to keep their job?
Robert, you can go first. I was just going to roast Neil Brown.
I would say Sam Pittman, just because you're in the SEC and you're not making any gains on the head horses. You know, you have a good season and you get ranked, but then you're just losing games that you should win. You know, they relied on KJ Jefferson to be the guy, and he just never really didn't do anything. You know, Arkansas's not going anywhere. They're just a stagnant program right now, and they got to figure it out, because now you have Texas and Oklahoma coming in. It's not going to get any easier. You got to get rid of them and get the program back on track and try and or go back to the Big 12. Those are your two options, because you're stuck with
So
the
they can lose to Colorado?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'd rather lose to Colorado than go and just get my ass handed
So-
to me week in and week out from Kentucky, Vanderbilt, and
So here's the thing,
Florida.
Robert, is Jerry Jones can only pay for so many players, and he already has one team. He can't pay for Arkansas, too, to have a team. So Arkansas and West Virginia, that's about as good as you're going to get with Sam Pittman and Neil Brown, in my opinion. You're going to get a 500 coach. West Virginia is never going to be pushing Alabama or Michigan, neither is Arkansas, for a national title. It's not going to happen. It is never going to happen. So if I'm them, I'm going to be like, this is still the billboard to our school. It still makes us a ton of money. At least win us enough games that we're not getting laughed at, which is what these guys do. So that's...
Simeon, do you know what's in Fayetteville and who went to Arkansas?
The Walmart. Yeah.
The Walmart people. Yeah. So there is money outside of Jerry Jones. That's all I'm trying to say there.
I know. I was more just making a football joke, okay?
No, I got it. But
I'm here for the comic relief.
But in all seriousness, I think Arkansas is the better job.
Arkansas of those two, Arkansas is definitely the better job. But that wasn't the question. The question was, what was the most surprising? And that's, what is his name? Brent Aranda?
Dave Aranda, yeah.
Dave Aranda at Baylor. You're telling me you've had 3 down seasons and you retained it, and all you did so far is right here. Fire your offensive coordinator, Jeff Grimes. I think he was the head coach somewhere. Bring in Cal's offensive coordinator. Great job. You upset 2 teams. That's who you're bringing in. Bring in SMU's running back coach. That's your big shakeup.
Aranda basically took all of Matt Rule's kids and won a Big 12 title with it and hasn't done anything since. Yeah,
Matt Rule is bad at the NFL and is unlucky in the NCAA.
Go for it, Robert.
Do we believe Sam Pittman at the end of next season is fired for Bobby Petrino to take over?
I don't
The
see
neck
it.
brace himself.
Come
He's
on.
back, baby. I forgot about that.
It would have to be one of those things where the offense is putting up like 35 points a game, but yet nothing. But they're
Watch.
still losing games.
How many points did Texas A&M average, baby?
Not 35, but also Bobby Petrino likes to scream and yell at players, and that's just not going to get it done. That is
Does he
not
still?
getting it. Well, apparently at A&M he didn't. He was a mild-mannered, well-behaved, good little church boy at A&M. Go ahead, Robert.
So, I just looked at Arkansas' schedule. There is no reason Arkansas should have a losing record next year.
Okay.
Like, their first 3 games, University of Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Golden Lions. That should be a win.
Yep,
playing
win. Let's play this game.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. At Oklahoma State. Toss up.
I mean, who lost? Toss up. Yeah. I'll give you a toss up. Yeah.
UAB.
Win.
Texas A&M. Home.
Again, toss up probably. Yeah.
These next 2 are losses back to back. Ole Miss and Texas.
More than likely. Yeah.
Louisiana Tech.
Win.
LSU.
That's probably a loss.
These next 4 games they could win out. Tennessee,
Mm-hmm.
Auburn,
Mm-hmm.
Mississippi State, Missouri.
Yeah, especially those last 2. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, you're looking at
That's
500.
assuming Hugh Freeze. Auburn looks good for a first year. Hugh Freeze
No.
back in the SEC.
No.
Well, so did Brian Harsin. And
Do
how'd
not
that turn out for
say-
Brian Harsin?
Brian Harsin isn't a good old Southern boy.
Do not say
So-
Auburn looked good.
They did exactly what Hugh Freeze is supposed to. Again, I
mean,
look
they
at this
couldn't
from
throw the
I don't
football,
watch
but
it-
yeah.
I don't watch enough of the games to be able to go, this is tactically what's going good and what's going bad for them. I have to look at their record and look at their scores,
They had
and look
5
how they
chances
played.
to beat Alabama.
and they had 5 chances to beat Alabama, and they got beat on a play called Gravedigger, and that's going to be one of the JT was short, and the kick 6 happened. Those
they
are
lost
like
the- Was that Utah State they lost to?
yeah. Didn't they
New
lose to Troy this
Mexico
year? No.
State. New
New
Mexico
Mexico
State.
State.
lost to.
New
Same
Mexico
thing.
State.
That team
New
is
Mexico
such
State
a letdown ever
almost
since
won
Nick
the Sun.
Marshall left.
Almost. Listen, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. But when they go 8-4 next year, I'm gonna be ha-ha-ing in your face.
All right, so just to finish
Write
up this
that down.
coaching thing, and then we're going to jump into other things because I have no idea. I'm kind of winging this. Jeff Monken, Army's head coach, was extended through the 2027 season. That will pay him more than $2 million per year. A Power 5 school needs to go get him. He said he wouldn't run the triple option. He's open to exploring other possibilities. Dan Lanning was extended right after the regular season, 6 years, $45 million. Gus Malzahn was extended. This kind of surprises me. New deal will pay him $4 million per year. It has incentives to average it out to 5.5. He's 23-14. He had a rough first season in the Big 12. And then finally, Rhett Lashley of SMU will be the man at the head of the table for that football program going to the ACC. They have extended him through the 2029 season. He led the Mustangs in 2 seasons to a 17-8 record.
You did this last week too. You called the AAC the ACC. So which one is it? Is SMU officially going to the ACC?
Yes, and it's the whole revenue thing where they're actually not getting. They're getting no share of the profit for like 10
Florida
years,
State
right?
is leaving, and SMU's coming in. All right, cool. That was a good pickup. That was a good extension by SMU, in my
White
opinion.
man!
Whoa,
No!
that's not what I wanted to do there. I apologize.
I mean,
bad.
he probably is. The dude's name is Rhett.
He's a
Name
white
me
man with
black
blue
guy.
eyes.
Show me a black guy named Rhett.
Okay,
I don't mean to make
So-
things racial here, but show me a black guy named Rhett.
This is going to be so far off topic, okay?
Yeah.
The Florida Attorney General is
Oh,
now
this is where I
getting
was-
involved.
This is where I was going next.
Oh, so
Okay.
wait, he's using the budget money?
Wait, everyone, calm down. Let me do this because this is where I was going next. The Florida Attorney General is investigating the College Football Playoff Committee
Yeah, baby,
and
let's
their
go.
decision to leave
Yeehaw!
Florida State out of the top four. Her name is Ashley Moody, said in the state's antitrust division is sending a civil investigation
Yeah,
demand
let's go.
to the committee for, quote, more information about the nature of possible contracts, conspiracies in restraint of trade or monopolization of trade,
is
and
this-
the committee relating to, I'm not done yet, anti-competitive effects of
My
the
joke
college
can't wait.
football
Is this how the
playoff.
Democrats felt when Trump got arrested? Because I feel like it is. Like, I am so excited. NCAA antitrust. Yes, it exists.
Also, raise your hand if during that quote, if I said 2 or more words that you didn't understand.
I honestly...
Robert, raise your hand.
I'll raise my hand because as you were going, I was reading the article. So I don't know if I was looking at the same article, but like some of the words were jumbled, and I was like, okay, I just went full dyslexic because I got words and all over the place here.
Okay, so I will read it again. For more information, this is a clip right here. This clip is to show how dumb we are. For more information about the nature of possible contracts, got that, conspiracies in restraint of trade or monopolization of trade and commerce relating to anti-competitive effects of the college football playoff.
Oh, well, that I can. Basically, it's a standard antitrust thing. That I understood totally fine. That's basically, hey, you made a Florida State lose money, and because you conspired against them too.
Well,
Which I mean,
I think
yeah,
they're-
no crap.
I
We
think
all
they're
knew this
se-
already,
I think
though.
they're seeing who the college football playoff has contracts with
So
to see if there was collusion. If there was,
who's gonna be the scapegoat for this?
they're not going to
That's my
find
question.
anything.
It's going to be one of the ads. They're just gonna say, Maryland, you're gone.
They're not going to find anything.
No. They should. This should be a witch hunt. No, this should not be a witch hunt. We should be going for the knees of the NCAA because the NCAA is now the evil empire to me, and they're now my number one enemy.
But the NCAA had nothing to do with this.
True.
Yeah,
So
what? No,
The college
of
football.
course they did.
No, the college
That's
football
like saying
playoff.
ESPN didn't have anything to do with this.
The col-
Technically,
The college
No,
football playoff
but
is
yes.
separate of the NCAA.
yes, and my mom is separate from my dad, but they're still effing married, dude. So they're still there. You
Again,
can't wonder why you smell like his cologne when you sleep right next to him.
who's wearing cologne to
ESPN
bed?
and therefore Disney, the NCAA, and the College Football Committee should all be kneecapped. They should all be regulated, taken out at the knees, because they decided to give a 11-1 conference champion over a undefeated conference champion because they had their backup in.
Third string.
He was coming back for the next game.
So
You can't pretend like
Okay,
the
we're gonna let
NCAA
Robert
didn't have
talk.
anything to do with this. I'm done now.
You should, if you wanted to be outraged, you should have been on last week's pod.
You're the one who said the NCAA didn't have anything to do about
If you
this.
wanted to be outraged, you should have been on last week's
I'm
podcast.
outraged at you. I'm sorry you got caught in the crossfire. Robert, you
go
actually
ahead.
have something
So-
interesting to say.
but so apparently a lot of this stems from when they were interviewing Kirk Herbstreit, and behind him he has like his wall of helmets and stuff.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that Michigan, Texas, Washington, and Alabama were like the four that you could clearly see right behind him. So that's what they're saying. Like ESPN already knew who the teams were when obviously you're not supposed to. It's everything's supposed to be like a fluid thing. And I think that's what they're gonna kind of go after.
It's a Florida man of lawsuits. That's what this is. This is a Florida man investigation. If investigations could be Florida man, it would be this investigation. This is total BS. This is redneck debauchery at its finest. Nothing's going to come of this.
Redneck debauchery.
But this is what it is.
I said,
This is what we get.
sir.
This is what we get when we let the yee
Yee
people, the yeehaw yee people get into law. This is what we get. We get the governor giving $1 million towards an investigation, and the AD saying, "Hold my sorry, not the AD, the Attorney General, the AG saying, "Hold my beer. I'm going to use all that money."
All right. Let's finish out the pod with
You didn't talk about any of the smaller schools. You didn't talk about how Troy lost Jeff Summerall
to
Hey,
to
Sim.
Tulane.
replace at Tulane.
Hey, Sim, right here. Sim,
Yeah.
Sim,
Yeah.
Sim, Sim,
Yeah.
Sim. Now
Yeah.
you know how I feel.
Nice. I can't even be mad at that.
All right. So here's the deal. We're going to do
Oh,
bowl games now. So I'm going to say bowl games. I need on a scale of 0 to 10, name of bowl game, what it is.
And it
and
starts in
then-
4 days.
And it starts in 4 days, the 16th. So this Saturday we have bowl games. Let's just start with something easy as maybe, no, I guess my mouse died. Oh, wait, no, it's back. Okay, here we go. Let's just start with an easy one. Myrtle Beach Bowl takes place in Conway, South Carolina. This is Georgia Southern and Ohio. I want scale of 1 to 10 for name, and then pick a winner, ladies and gentlemen.
2. Ohio.
2 and Ohio.
Okay, great. So again, this was easy. They'll get a lot harder. Everyone calm down
I'm gonna pull. I already made my pick, so I'm actually gonna pull them up.
Oh, you're gonna pull them up. Okay, great. I got the Starco Brands LA Bowl, UCLA, and Boise State.
4.
I missed the.
Starco Brands LA Bowl.
Oh, here we go. Okay, I see this. This is much better. Boise. I picked Boise State to upset UCLA here.
I was listening to the College Game Day podcast, and Pete Thamel made a great point. Outside of the playoff bowl games, every bowl game is not who has the better team. It's who's more motivated.
Who shows up?
Who shows up. And I think
Whose
Boise
players aren't
State,
in the portal?
yeah, whose players aren't in the portal, and that would
Whose
be
coaches' minds aren't elsewhere?
Boise State.
another one?
In this has got to be the longest bowl name. This is also Saturday. This is California, Texas Tech. This is being also played in LA. Listen, bowl games are even going late. 9:15 ESPN. The Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl. That's got to be
1.
the longest name ever. Yeah, that's totally
Just-
a one.
just-
Nothing
be
to
the-
do with America.
Just be
Nothing
the
to do with
Independence Bowl.
America. Yeah, it's nothing to do with America. Nothing to do with independence. Where is this game being played?
This Independence Stadium in
Shreveport.
Shreveport.
Shreveport, Louisiana. Louisiana does not scream independence to me.
No.
In fact, they seceded from the Union. So try again. Texas Tech 1.
Okay, great. Monday, we have Western Kentucky facing Old Dominion in Charlotte, North Carolina, in the famous Toastery Bowl. What the F is a toastery?
Yeah, Robert, you're a single white guy. What's a toastery?
Is this the Pop-Tart one?
No, I think that's called the Pop-Tart Bowl. Genius.
Yes. Well, I didn't know if it was the Pop-Tart Bowl or if this is going to be the Toastery Bowl. It would be like a toaster thingy. But
Well,
I don't
Toaster
know.
strudel, maybe.
I don't know what a toastery is. Toastery.
I'm looking it up.
Famous Toastery.
Oh, famous.
It's a
It's a branch restaurant.
Oh,
Well, that's
probably
yeah.
native to
Well,
Charlotte. Okay.
That's
That
a
makes
two.
it. That makes it. And Jerry Richardson
That's a
Stadium.
two.
Jerry Richardson Stadium is that's not Bank of America Stadium, by the way.
kinda
Two,
figured.
because it is a restaurant, and I think I picked Western Kentucky to win. So, I did,
Okay.
yes,
Tuesday, the 19th, Scooters
I love this.
Yeah.
Coffee Frisco Bowl. This is
Yep.
played in Frisco, Texas, so that's why it's called the Frisco
Soccer
Bowl
stadium,
in
Toyota.
Toyota Stadium. I would assume Scooters
That's-
Coffee is just a brand
I'm-
name, right?
I would guarantee you
Yeah.
that is an 8 because the name Scooter is just a fun. Hey Scooter.
It is.
That's just great.
It is
That's a fun name.
1998, founded in 1998.
Yep, that's an 8 to me. UTSA Roadrunners meet.
Yeah, the same thing.
Trailer didn't get a head coaching job anywhere, right?
No, he
Not
is
yet.
currently still with UTSA.
He is still currently with. Okay,
He did lose somebody. though.
Simeon, last year I believe we had a rule. If you had a .com, .org, .whatever in your name, it was automatically a 0. So we have roofclaim.com Boca Raton Bowl. So it's automatically a 0 for multiple
Yep.
reasons because it's roofclaim.com. Also, I'm being told insurance companies don't cover anything in Florida anymore anyway. So they're kind of lying to you right off the bat. Covering
Plus,
Boca
it's
and it's South Florida and Syracuse.
in
Those-
FAU Stadium, so it's a 0, and I'm picking South Florida because they didn't fire their coach yet.
Okay, excellent. This is one of my favorite bowl names. However, it is the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl. I love
Wow.
I just like the name Gasparilla. I'm gonna give it a 7. I'm gonna
Is
pick.
that related to a sarsaparilla?
I don't know
Do we know?
what's a Gasparilla. Look it up, everybody.
We're looking it up.
Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl, Georgia Tech, UCF. This is Friday before Christmas. The
Oh, it's a
22nd.
pirate festival. Simply referred to as is a large parade. It's a it's a bowl game for a pirate themed festival that takes place at the end of January in Tampa.
10.
Yeah, there's a children's hour. It's taking place in a pirate ship in Raymond James Stadium. So it's now Union Home Mortgage. It would have been better if it was like a boat insurance company or like brought to you by Yamaha, sort of situation, something to do with some watercraft, even scooters, scooting down on the lake. I picked UCF for this one to beat Georgia.
It would just been better if it was just a Gasparilla Bowl.
I mean, that's what it is. It's the
Robert, that's what
Gasparilla
we're
Bowl.
getting at. All these bowl games can just be
You
renamed something
need
better.
to get funnier.
Okay? Yeah. Like, turn it up a little
It
bit.
doesn't
Find
get
your
any
humanity.
funnier than a pirate-themed bowl game. But what
See?
does the Pirates have to do with a Union Home Mortgage?
You're getting so that lowers your score.
Yeah.
So now it's like a 5 for you.
Yeah, it would be a 5. But then you have, Mackay's over here. It's a 10.
Because it's a pirate party.
Right.
In
Well,
the Pirate Stadium.
yeah, that's fine. But what the hell
the
is the
Union Home Mortgage-
Mortgage?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I hate that. I hate that part.
So I
Well,
think
it's gonna
we
drop
need
it
to
at least to a 9.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
so I
I,
think-
over, I
10
overranked
means
it.
that there is absolutely nothing wrong with the name. The 10 is
Like-
the creme de la creme. Like
like
Okay,
the
I
famous
all right.
Idaho Potato Bowl.
Yes.
No, that's-
That is
or the Kraft
that's a
Mac
10
and
out of
Cheese
10
Bowl.
name.
10.
Yeah.
Short, sweet, to the point. You know what
Also,
you're
It's
getting.
in Idaho.
Also, I'm not seeing the Pop-Tart
Lock-
Bowl.
Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl? Are you kidding me? That is a perfect sponsor. It's taking place in Texas. Pew pew. And it always involves an armed forces team. In this case, Air Force.
What's the guaranteed rate bowl? What rate are we guaranteeing? Is that like a mortgage company? Also,
think it's a
how
mortgage
do
company.
mortgage companies always get the bowl games?
Because no one really actually wants to
Because
sponsor
they
a
are
bowl game.
absolutely killing the United States.
Yeah.
Okay.
That 8% interest is
And,
really screwing us up.
Easy Post Hawaii Bowl. What's Easy Post? Just why can't we name it the Hawaii Bowl?
I think that's like Post-it. Let's double check. Like I think it's a sticky note bowl. Hold
SRS
on.
Distribution
No.
Las Vegas Bowl.
Wait, am I still picking teams here, or are we just rating names?
Oh, now we're just rating names.
We're
We've
off-
gone
we're
off
off
the
the
these
deep
are
end.
these are low tier. These are like
Yeah,
2
I know,
and 3. Both
I
of those
know,
are like
I
3.
know.
So is the 68 Ventures
All right,
Bowl.
all right. DirecTV Holiday Bowl.
No, screw DirecTV.
You know, I'm going to give that a 5 because you do want to watch TV during the holidays.
Robert, you're a big man. Duke's Mayo Classic Bowl.
Dude,
this is
that is the 10. Because not only is the name a good name, but they dump the mayo on the coach. Like, they go from point A to point Z the entire time.
he's 100% correct. I agree with him
And
completely.
they're
I have
one of the
West Virginia
kickoff
Mountaineers upsetting this game.
The North Carolina Tar Heels. They
Yep.
also there's the Duke Mayo Classic kickoff. So so it's end to end, A to Z, as Robert's saying. A super dumb name, Military Bowl, presented by GoBowling.com. It's a 2.
I mean, no, it's immediate 0. We have rules for this,
It's an immediate 0. It should just be the Military Bowl.
and there's no military
And
in
there's
it.
no military team playing in it.
Okay, but it is in Annapolis. It does
Yeah,
take place
I
at the
mean-
Navy and Marine Corps Stadium.
Navy
Corps
should
Stadium.
automatically get the bowl game too. The bowl game at their home stadium.
It's
What-
Virginia Tech and Tulane.
What if, though, if Navy, for some reason, or Army or Air Force, is ranked like super high, and it's like, well, you have to go play the number 7 military team in the Military Bowl instead of playing in like the Outback Bowl.
Yeah, I'm okay
Also-
with it.
Military Bowl presented by the United States of America is what it should be.
Yeah,
Pop,
by like Go Army.
Pop-
It would, but it would be dumb because it would be GoArmy.com, presented by GoArmy.com. It wouldn't be. It
it would be an
by the
automatic
US
0,
Army.
and we can't do that
Right.
because then it's an
Yeah.
automatic 0.
But
All right,
that's what it would be.
all right. Pop Tart Bowl. NC State, Kansas State. It's a ranked on ranked actually. 18 Kansas State, 25 or 18 NC State, 25 Kansas State.
I got to know what flavor the Pop Tart is.
The mascot's edible, if anyone
Right.
cares.
But what flavor?
I don't probably blueberry.
We don't have that information. Let's just assume we
Blueberry.
don't have that information.
Whenever the commercials are on, I feel
Blueberry?
I feel like it's blueberry.
I have. It's a 10 because everyone likes a Pop-Tart. Only the weird Toastal Strudel people don't like Pop-Tarts.
Yeah.
And this is a 50-50. And I have UNC winning the game.
This is always one of my favorite bowl games to watch because it's somehow always exciting. It's number 14 Arizona and number 12 Oklahoma without Dylan Gabriel, so we'll get to see some booty. That just so happens to be a 1-star general at the helm. Valero Alamo Bowl. Give me Arizona to win. The name alone, I'll give a 7.5.
It's a pretty standard name. I'm okay with it. 6-7 Arizona.
It's also called the Alamo Bowl because it's played in the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. So I think that's pretty cool. All right. Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl, number 19 Oregon State, who doesn't have their head coach, starting quarterback, running back, wide receiver, like their entire team's in shambles, taking on number 16 Notre Dame in the only bowl game that CBS somehow gets to broadcast. So Tony the Tiger Bowl, give me Notre Dame.
Yeah. That's an 8 because Tony the Tiger is pretty lame. I think he's an overhyped mascot. They're not that great. But Notre Dame's going to win this.
I also don't like to eat my Tony the Tiger cereal in the sun.
Yeah,
That's also a valid point.
What does the sun have to do with Tony the Tiger?
Other than
Well,
spoiling
it's in
my
Sun
milk,
Bowl
like,
Stadium, to be fair. Like, this is an old school bowl. It's like the Cotton Bowl.
Again, just call it the Sun Bowl then.
Yeah.
Like why
Or like the Liberty Bowl?
Why does everything need to have the sponsor in the name?
Because money.
So, with all
Where's your
the-
money,
you know,
please,
Yeah, you go to
Sam?
these like colleges. I know you want to play the soundbite.
Money, please.
There you go.
There you go. That's why.
You know, because a lot
What
of
does
these.
Cheez-Its have to do with citrus?
Oh, that's another one. But don't like
They're both
the
orange
bowl
sometimes?
games. They get like stuff like during that week, stuff like you know what I mean. How annoyed would you be to go to the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl and you literally are getting boxes of Frosted Flakes?
I would... No, okay, sorry.
I would not
Hold
be
up.
mad. So
Over
you gotta
a
calm down
t-shirt?
right there. Oh yeah, I might-
Over a lame T-shirt that I'm going to use to maybe wash something with?
free cereal or
Even
t-shirt.
small boxes.
Yeah,
I'm
what if you
walking
have a
out like
gluten
this.
allergy?
Sucks. It's corn. It doesn't matter.
Guess
it's
I'm
corn
shitting
based.
for the next 4 days then.
It's corn based. No, you're not. It's a corn flake. It's a frosted corn flake. It's made of corn. A great lump with knobs. It has the juice.
All right.
Or in this case, it's squished down and baked and then coated with sugar.
This is probably my favorite. Goodyear Cotton Bowl. I'm gonna give this a 10.
No. They've been the premium sponsor, but what about rubber is soft? We literally freeze it and then play it with a sport. We hit it with a stick.
I don't. Yeah. Missouri at or not at Ohio State. Missouri and Ohio State. This is the first of the New Year 6 games. Give me Missouri, just because no starting.
We're covering this
quarterback.
next week because we don't have anything else to cover. We're covering the big games next week. You should have
Oh,
known
I
this
guess we're
already.
covering the. I'm sorry. Are you
Plus,
hosting?
we're at a minute. We're at an
Are you
hour and
hosting?
7. No, but I'm producing, and I'm telling you
I
that's what
see
we're
the
doing
sign.
next week.
I see the time.
Well,
Get
then-
out of my ear.
Maybe wrap it up a little bit, okay?
I know what I'm doing. Get out of my ear.
Okay, I'm out.
You're out of my ear. All right, we'll wrap it up
Never
with.
loved you.
I'm gonna wrap it up with this. The over/under of the Tennessee Volunteer, number 21 Tennessee Volunteer, and then number 17 Iowa Hawkeye in the whatever bowl this is. In their bowl game, which is the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, is 36.5. Over/under, everybody. Hello?
What are we guessing?
Yeah.
Under.
Thank you. 36.5.
Oh, I thought I
over
was-
under.
Oh, under.
All right. Everyone,
just want-
we did it.
Hey,
It's gonna be 20. It's gonna be 25-0.
James
much
Madison Air
like-
Force. $9.
$9. Most expensive ticket is
National championship, but barring that is Alabama, Michigan. 509.
No.
I have a big problem with the Rose Bowl game being Rose Bowl game presented by Prudential. Again, why are we presenting things like
Every time I hear the word Prudential, I just think of
Old white man.
dentures.
just be
and
the
old white
All-State
men,
Sugar
and that
Bowl?
makes me think of
like that. Just be the Rose Bowl. Like that's
The Prudential Rose Bowl.
sure, or just be the Rose Bowl. You know, like there's enough money to go around.
Yeah, you should save them. I think that's fair.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna get on
Bye.
out of here.
Go eat stuff.
For Admiral, you like that, and non-CFP Insider Roberto, thank you everyone for being here. I am your host,
I did
Captain
nothing.
Boring. Wash your hands, you filthy animals. We will
See you next week, guys.
next week. Bye-bye.
I'm just being annoying at this point. Bye, Mom.